Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Jeremy from Randolph Running Club, and today I want to talk to you about the Asics Gel Excite 7 after 200 miles, right after this.
Cash Money AP.
Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. Thank you for following along there. That's a little bit of a compilation footage from various runs that I've taken these shoes on, these Asics Gel Excite 7s over the course of 200 miles. We've done a half marathon, time trial, taking these shoes on long runs, easy pace runs, interval runs, fartleks, all kinds of different things, so that we can really get to the bottom and see, are these a good shoe for you? Does this suit your needs? Is this the right shoe for the type of training that you're planning on doing? So, you might be a person who's just starting running or somebody who's just intrigued by a good deal, but I'm sure if that is the case, you might have typed in Asics shoes or something like that, and these bad boys came up on your feed, your Google search, something like that, and they can be had all day long for 50 bucks. As a matter of fact, I got mine for $50 from Amazon. And you might be thinking to yourself, hey, these might be worth a go. So, hey, did the hard work for you. I've worn them, been using them as my daily trainer for some time now, and I have some thoughts. So, starting off with the technical specs, according to the Asics website and Runner's Warehouse, we have a 10.1 US ounce weight in a US men's size 10. I'm sorry, I'm getting the terms confused, but 10.1 ounces in a US men's size 10. So not the lightest shoe in the world, but not really heavy for something that is a daily trainer either. There's an 8mm heel to toe drop. So basically what that means is from the heel of the shoe to the forefoot of it, there's 8mm of drop. And the reason for that is at the rear, at the heel, we have a 26mm stack height, and the forefoot has an 18mm stack height. So not the most cushion in the world, but not a little either. I would say that you could put this right in the medium stack height category, which is pretty solid for a daily trainer and something that you can use for the majority of your miles. As well, we have an Amplifoam midsole, jacquard mesh upper. I hope I pronounced that right. That's always such a hard word to pronounce. And we have, of course, Asics tried and true gel system in the heel. So the way that I like to kind of rank these shoes is we talk about the comfort, the versatility, durability, and of course the value or the price. So just jumping straight into it with the comfort, I have personally found that these shoes are extremely comfortable. I don't know what it is. I've been running in these shoes actually since I think the Gel Excite 4 or the 3. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I ran my first ever marathon, or half marathon, I'm sorry, in the Gel Excite 4s, and I trained in them, ran in them, and I thought that they were very comfortable. But there's something about this particular new variation of it with this Amplifoam that I think takes it to just another level, especially for the price point that this shoe, is at. I find that the Amplifoam is very forgiving. It's easy on the joints. You can kind of just pile on the miles and not really have to worry about that you're sacrificing your body or something, wearing some shoe that doesn't have any type of cushioning for you. And then also I find that the Asics Gel, which is kind of like their, OG technology, something that dates back to I think even like the 80s or even prior to that, actually. That's their original technology that they've had, kind of like a competitor to Nike Air, and essentially it's just gel that's in the heel, and as you compress it, that little pocket of gel kind of squishes down and gives you a little bit of impact protection there. And you know, some people say it's outdated, some people say it's not cool anymore, it's not the new thing, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I find that the gel in the heel works really well, especially on those really easy paces where you might find yourself heel striking a little bit more. There's just something about hitting that patch of gel in the heel and kind of rolling through the motion nice and easy, letting that amplifoam really soak up those miles, and then, you know, going into a nice transition to toe off. I just find the shoes to be extremely comfortable, and yeah, I think you can't go wrong there. And also, I think the upper is very breathable, dispels water quickly, and is just really comfortable. You know, I've been running with these shoes in New York City where it was really cold in the winter, around March time, and I found that there, you know, my feet didn't feel cold per se, but you know, now that I've moved to Miami and I've kind of transitioned to running in heat and humidity, I still find that the shoes are very breathable, don't retain a ton of water, and I just feel really comfortable on my runs wearing these. Now, moving on to versatility, I'll say that although I have done all types of runs in these shoes, I think they're really more suited for your easier paces. And the reason I say that is because at 10.1 ounces, they're not nearly as light as like the Epic React 2s that I reviewed fairly recently. Those, I believe, are 8.7 ounces or so, maybe a little bit lighter than that in the same size. And you know, I'm wearing a US 14. So I know the weight is a little bit more than that, of course, but I guess what I'm trying to say here is, if you're really trying to pick up the pace and you're using these shoes for like interval runs or something like that, or, you know, kind of threshold pace, I find that you're not going to be getting the full benefit of the shoes, if you will. Like, you're going to want something a little bit lighter, even though they are well cushioned and they are really good at kind of changing pace if you need to. I don't think that when you're really hauling, you know, I don't think that these are the shoes that necessarily hold up for that. But with that being said, you know, I've run at my half marathon pace. I've done threshold paces, and it's fine. You know, if this is the only shoe that you have, and you haven't experienced something lighter, then I think this would be perfectly fine. But if you're seeking out, you know, increase small gains to increase your marathon pace or your half marathon pace, for instance, it would probably be best to pair this shoe with something else. So that's why I would say they're just not quite as versatile, and that's what I've been doing. You know, I wear them for my easy miles, my long miles sometimes, but when it comes time for me to do an interval workout or something of that nature, or I just want to do a fast long run, that's when I'll pull out the Epic Reacts or something, just something different that is a little bit lighter weight and a little more responsive. Moving on to durability, I'm actually going to pull these out and let you guys see the rubber there. We are using Asics high abrasion rubber here, so AHAR, and I think that these are holding up pretty well. I hope that this is coming out clear on the camera, but you know, you see a little bit of wear in the toe area and you know, toward the sides of the forefoot, but I find that all my shoes kind of have that wear. You know, it's just, I guess, the way that my foot strikes the ground. And I would say that, you know, for 200 miles, the grip is still there. These shoes, I still feel like the amplifoam is not, you know, completely flat. I'm still getting some energy return there and still feeling some type of protection from the ground as I run. And, you know, that's something at this point. In previous iterations of the shoes, I feel like I was starting to near the end of the life cycle. So I think the last pair that I ran in might have been the 5s, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, around 300 miles, it was time to toss them. And granted, I'm not that far into these shoes just yet, but I started to develop knee pains and shin splints and things like that around 300 miles. But these, it seems like they're retaining more of that initial cushion. They still feel pretty fresh, like how they were the first day I wore them. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to wear these. My durability prediction for them, with all that rubber and just great cushioning, is somewhere between 600 and 700 miles. So I think that this is a great value if you're the type of person who wants to wear one shoe and just keep wearing it for your daily training. These don't seem like they're breaking down at all, not visually or in actual performance. And last but not least, I mean, we got to talk about the price, right? So that might be why you're watching this review. That might be what got you here in the first place, is that, you know, you see that these shoes start at $75, but you can get them for $50, sometimes $40 or something. And for this level of daily training comfort and performance that you're getting, I really think that these shoes are just an enormous value. I think it's a steal. That's kind of the theme here at the channel, I guess. You know, I really like the Epic React 2s because I thought those were a great value for a performance shoe, but I definitely believe that these, kind of in the same vein, if you're looking for a daily trainer, just something to pile on miles and keep yourself injury free as you go to that marathon, that race day, or whatever race you're doing, I think that these are really nailing the job. And for that price, I mean, you can buy 2-3 pairs of these for the price that some daily trainers, you know, maybe you're comparing these to like a Hoka Clifton 7 or even the Asics Nova Blast, which I think is a phenomenal shoe as well. You know, that shoe costs $130. So you could buy 2 of these in a pair of shorts or something, or whatever other stuff, or sign up for a race at that price. So just something to keep in mind, and I think they're highly worth it. However, we will say that there has to be some cons, right? Nothing's perfect. I would say that these shoes are a little bit on the heavier side. I would prefer if they were maybe an ounce lighter, maybe somewhere around 9 ounces would be probably the sweet spot, and something that I think would be perfect for, you know, daily trainer use. But with that being said, I think you're kind of, that's the trade-off that you are paying when you have such high durability on a shoe like this. And then the other thing I would say is the midsole. It feels very durable, it's comfortable, but the energy return from it isn't on something like a Hyperburst from Skechers, or even Flight Foam or Flight Foam Blast from Asics. You're just not getting that bouncy feeling. It can feel a little bit stiff, and for me, I kind of like that. I think that it lends itself to feeling like the shoe isn't going to bottom out. It's not going to lose its cushioning benefit really quickly. But with that being said, I do think that the shoe, when you're pushing the pace, which granted, I guess like I said earlier, this isn't a shoe that you're really going to want to do that in necessarily, but if you wanted to try it, you're not going to feel like you're getting that springy, almost trampoline-like feeling that you might get from something like Nike's React Foam or Asics Flight Foam Blast. But with that being said, I think these shoes do a great job at what they're intended for. I will definitely continue to be wearing these for quite some time, and hopefully have an update for you guys, you know, once I get them to 400 miles or 500 miles. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. If you like this content, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. All right, guys.